Hello, everyone. How are you? I feel like my camera is like a little too low. Let me fix that. There we go. Probably get annoyed and fix that more later. Hi. Hello, everyone. Hello. Put my headphones in. How are we doing today? Great to see you all. Jiminy's Journal, you tried to sneak a Prime subscription 45 months now while I was getting ready, but I see it. I see it with my eyes. Thank you so much for continuing to be a valued member of the Bailey Nation.
You go, girl.
I need to make sure I have my paper slips, which are so critical for this. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. I was getting ready, then getting a Diet Coke, and that can take some time because it's all the way downstairs. Thank you, Kindlewick. It is not new, but I accept your compliment. Thank you. Okay, so today I voted and I decided I wanted to read Under the Magician's Spell. Ooh! A big shout out to every single person who helped me reach last month's Eggnog Fund goal, particularly with becoming suddenly and unexpectedly unemployed. That has been more important than ever when it comes to things like feeding my boys and also myself. So I really appreciate it. And so we're celebrating by reading this good book. I have a little bit of a sniffle, so if I have to get up and blow my nose every now and again, please forgive me and try not to be too angry or disgusted by my human body. Thank you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say before we get started. If you're on Patreon, don't forget to vote for for the new Patreon exclusive video. We're going to be releasing last month's and this month's at the same time because I was too sick last month to record. I believe you got just a couple more days for that vote, so get that in there. If you're at the $2 and up tier, you'll be able to vote. Justin, you just subscribed with Prime. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Bailey Nation, and please enjoy your brand new emotes.
You go, girl.
I'm going to have another sip of Diet Coke to prepare my vocal cords. I forgot to warm up. My unique New York, unique New York. You know you need unique New York. Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. I don't remember the rest. Okay, let's get going. So this book looks great. It's crusted in ancient dirt, which you know means it's good. It cost $1.50 according to the sticker on it. I think I paid slightly more than that, but that's all right. Okay. So, I'm just going to read the introduction because I think that is also a critical part of this. I hope you're all ready to get a little scared. Or a lot scared. I don't know. Bummer. You have to take your bratty little sister Joni with you to the mall. Classic Goosebumps setup, for the record. Before you and your friend Sid can stop her, Joni runs into a magic shop. Of course, she touches everything in the store. But when Joni leaves the shop carrying a big book of magic spells, you know you're headed for trouble. Big trouble. Yeah, depending on the cost of the book, it could be a felony. Joni, put it back. The book of spells belongs to an evil magician, and he's going to use every terrifying magic trick, sawing you in half, throwing knives at you, even setting hundreds of rabbits loose. One of these things is not like the other. To get his book back. Time is running out. The magician has put a powerful spell on Joni. Her body is slowly evaporating, and you're next. Can you destroy the magician before he waves his wand and makes you disappear into thin air? You're in control of this scary adventure. You decide what will happen and how terrifying the scares will be. All right. I hope you're ready. So this was only the 7th one. Before this, the only ones that existed were Escape from the Carnival of Horrors, TikTok You're Dead, Trapped in Batwing Hall, which I actually have right here, The Deadly Experiments of Dr. Eek, Night in Werewolf Woods, and Beware of the Purple Peanut Butter. I think we've read several of those. But because it's so early, and there is a good chance that RL actually did write this one himself. But let's see if we can find his tell in here, shall we? Let's go. You flatten yourself against the wall. You listen hard for a noise, any noise. Will you be able to make your escape? The only sound you hear is your own raspy breathing. You slowly peer around the corner. All clear. It's now or never, you murmur. You take a deep breath and sprint toward freedom. Bang! The door slams behind you as you fling yourself onto the lawn. Made it, you cheer, but you know there's no time to celebrate. You glance around. So far, so good. You race around the side of the house and come to a dead stop. It didn't start with dialogue, which is interesting. Maybe this is the first book that RL did not write. That's a thought I'm having. There they are, standing right by your bicycle. Your mother and your little sister Joni. Hi, sweetie, your mother greets you. Where are you off to in such a hurry? Your stomach sinks to your toes. You were so close to escape. Now you know what's coming. I'm meeting Sid at the mall. You mumbled to your mom. That sounds like fun, dear. I'm sure Joni would like to go too. Mom, you wailed. Joni's such a pain. She gets into everything. I have to watch her every second. Joni will behave, won't you, cutie? Your mother turns to Joni and kisses her cheek. Joni nods sweetly. She gives you a big, fake smile. Goodbye fun, you think. Your bratty 9-year-old sister always gets you into trouble. She has to touch everything she sees. Break it or take it seems to be Joni's motto, but she's so disgustingly cute. No one ever seems to get mad at her. Grown-ups love her brown curls and bright blue eyes. Look, Joni wants to hold your hand, your mother gushes. Isn't that cute? An adorable kleptomaniac sister is a pretty fun character to have tagging along with us. You shake off Joni's hand. Once your mother is out of sight, you know Joni will drop her cutie pie routine. Like an evil Shirley Temple. Listen up, Joni, you tell her. I'm in charge, so hurry up and grab your bike. I'm already late. I have to get my diary first. Sorry, wait, no, Joni's around the mom. I think Joni has a different voice around the mom than she does around normal. I have to get my diary first, Joni says. That stupid diary. Joni never goes anywhere without it. You two have fun, your mother tells you. Then she follows Joni into the house. Joni, you holler, I'm leaving now. You jump on your bike and pedal as fast as you can. Hopefully none of your friends will spot you riding to the mall with your little sister. You glance back and see that Joni is pedaling hard to keep up with you. When you reach the mall, you and Joni lock your bikes in the rack. Don't wander off, you instruct Joni. Oh, me? She asks, super sweetly. You roll your eyes at Joni's sickly sweet act. You rush through the mall to meet your friend Sid. You spot him pacing in front of the Comic Connection. Sid is wearing a blue jacket that is a little too small for his chubby frame. Okay, RL. RL's like, your friend's fat. Okay, man. It's the 90s. Who cares? That was a classic archetype. Right, Noodle? Noodle knows. He runs a hand through his spiky blonde hair. Where were you? He demands as you hurry over to him. My mom made me bring Joni, you explain. Really? Sid raises an eyebrow. Then where is the little princess? Oh no, did you lose Joni already? Oh yeah, Noodle's on a mission. Wait, quick reveal. Noodle. Hi, baby. He just wants scratches. That's the only thing in his little brain. I love you. Oh, I love you. I knocked over all my stuff, but it was worth it to give Noodle face scratches, which he loves so dearly. Okay, great. He's just a little guy. Joni has already disappeared. Too bad you can't just let her stay lost. You glance around the mall. There she is, you say, pointing across the courtyard. Joni stands frozen in front of a shop window as if she were in a trance. For a moment, you could swear her feet are floating inches off the floor. Can't be, you tell yourself. You blink and look again. No, her feet are still on the ground. The magic shop. You read the store sign aloud. She's going in, Sid warns. Come on, you cry. We've got to get her out of there. That store won't know what hit it. You and Sid follow Joni into the magic shop. It takes a few seconds for your eyes to adjust to the dim light. Sid gives a little gasp beside you. Wow, you murmur. The shop is filled from floor to ceiling with magic tricks. Of course, Joni's touching every single one. You shake your head as you watch her fiddling with a miniature guillotine. Oh my god, Bailey. All those years of French class, and I can't say guillotine on sight. Then she sticks her finger into place under the tiny blade. Joni, don't, you shout. Before you can stop her, she pulls the string. The blade drops right through her finger. Oh no! Joni, don't move. You race to her side. Your mom will be furious if you allow Joni to chop off her finger. You force yourself to look down at your sister's hand. You hope you'll be able to stand the sight of all that blood. Joni slowly pulls her hand from the guillotine. She grins up at you, waving all 5 fingers. Do you strangle Joni now? Turn to page 25. Or do you use every ounce of strength and try to ignore your little sister's tricks? Turn to page 6. It's very funny where they're like, do you just want to fully murder your sister? Is murder on the table today? Let's not. We fell for the trick. That's on us. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's cool. 1 second. 1 sec, everybody. Uno momento. There we go. There we go. Okay, great. I say we don't murder her. It's not her fault we don't know what a classic magic trick looks like. Hi, Ari. How's it going? I'm glad you're now home. You and your dumb ass. Joni, you spit out through clenched teeth. We've only just arrived, and you have... You're interrupted by a poke in the back. You whirl around. There's Sid with a goofy smile on his face. Oops, Sid says sheepishly. He holds up his hands. They're handcuffed together. Sid, you scold him. You're as bad as Joni. A booming voice makes you jump. I see that you are enjoying my magic tricks. Great, you think. The store owner. Now I'll have to pay for the tricks we've touched. Where is the guy? You glance around the shop and you don't see anyone. You smell something, though. Something musty and rotten. Welcome to the magic shop, the voice says. A tall, thin man with a skinny mustache steps out of the shadows. He's dressed all in black. His black cape swirls around him as if there were a strong wind blowing. Except, you remind yourself, we're indoors. I am the magician, the tall man declares, making his turn all the way to page 125. Yeesh. You are allowed to touch things and not buy them. That's true. However, I do understand a 12-year-old having it drilled into them, don't touch anything or we'll have to buy it. That feels classic 90s parenting to me. Great shop, Mr. Magician. You use your most polite voice. Maybe that way he won't be angry about Sid and Joni playing with the tricks. Yeah, cool stuff, Sid pipes up. He reaches out to shake the magician's hand. What a jerk. He must have forgotten he was handcuffed. The magician peers down at Sid's wrists. You hear a low rumble that gradually turns into a creepy laugh. Sid's sorry about trying on the handcuffs. You elbow Sid so that he'll put on his most sorry face. He does. But we really have to get home, you continue. So if you could get us the key... Key? The magician brings his face directly in front of yours. You notice little wisps of smoke escaping from his collar. This is getting too weird. You glance around for Joni. Adults usually go for her cute act. Maybe she can cute the magician into getting the key. You feel Sid tucking on your sleeve. You turn back around, but the magician has vanished. Where did he go? Hey, you exclaim. Where did he go? This one's good because you have a thought and then you turn to the next page and then you say the thought out loud. And I think that's great. That's how it should work. It's more thinking than most Goosebumps protagonists do. Sid points toward a black curtain at the rear of the shop. You walk up to the curtain and give it a yank. There's nothing behind it but a solid brick wall. Weird. It's time to leave, you tell Sid. He agrees. You quickly find Joni kneeling in front of a huge bookcase. Come on, Joni, we're going, you tell her. But I'm... Now, you command, yanking her to her feet. We need to remove Sid's handcuffs, you say once you're outside. We have some tools back at our clubhouse. Maybe this will help, Joni says. She holds up an old book. The words Magic Book of Spells are written across the gold cover. Joni, you screech. What are you doing with that? I tried to tell you, Joni whines, but you dragged me out of the store. Besides, I think there's a spell in here for getting us out of the handcuffs. Well, somebody needs to do something, Sid grumbles. I think these cuffs are getting tighter. What should you do? If you decide to try a spell from the book, turn to page 32. If you decide to go back to the clubhouse and use regular tools, turn to page 47. Now, this, I assume, is where the major split happens, based on what the back said. I think that let's put it to a vote. Because this is, if I'm not mistaken, where the big split in the book happens. So this is pretty critical. Which way? How do we solve the handcuff puzzle? Magic or tools? Give that 2 minutes and starting the poll. While you guys do that, I am going to very cutely, like Joni, blow my... I'll be right back. I'm back. I did it. How's the voting going? Pretty good. Everyone kind of loves the idea of using magic to solve our problems. Don't hate that. Magic is just a tool. That's a good point. Yeah, magic is kind of overwhelmingly winning, so unless 20 people very suddenly decide that they'd like to go back to the clubhouse for tools, I think we know what we're about to do here. All right. We're trying a spell from the book. Let's go. I'm no the poll's not quite over, but I'm looking at it and yes it is. Okay, let's see if we can find a spell that will do the trick, you say. You're willing to try anything. You grab the small, gold-covered book from Joni and skim the pages. It must be written in some kind of code, you say. I've never seen words like this before. It's Latin. I bet I can read it, Joni brags, grabbing the book back from you. Let me have it. Fine, smarty pants, you say. Go ahead. Joni studies the book, turning the pages slowly. It must be a foreign language, she says finally, which is very funny in the voice that I decided to pick for her. That's good. Foreign. Yeah, like Transylvanian, Sid jokes. Maybe the English translation's in the back of the book. Joni flips to the back pages. I think you're right, she says. This looks like English. You peer at the book over her shoulder. Oh, right, you say sarcastically. You snatch the book back from her. If this is English, then what does Ibn dos Yagat Nobis Tagu mean? Unfortunately, you are about to find out. Loud claps of thunder echo around the mall. The sky grows darker and darker. Huge cracks appear in the floor. You watch in horror as a huge split in the tile moves toward you. Faster, faster! Look out, you shout. You shove the magic book into the waistband of your pants. You try to outrun the widening gap, but it's no use. You fall into the opening. Your hands reach up for the edge, but the ground is shaking so much you can't get a good hold. You slide down deeper and deeper into the black hole. Your fingers scrape at the dirt along the sides. You try to find something to hold on to, but there's nothing. The dirt crumbles under your fingertips. Help, you shout, but there's no one to help you. You plunge into the earth's darkness, tumbling over and over and over. Ooh. No more appropriate time than that for that one. That's a great point, Ari. Wake up! Someone is shouting into your ear. You open your eyes. Sid is standing over you. What happened? You ask. Where are we? I don't know, Sid answers. Underground somewhere? You rise unsteadily to your feet. You notice Joni sitting on the floor. She looks as if she just woke up. You glance around. We are the worst babysitter of all time. The walls of the room are painted black. A wooden coffin sits on a low table. Behind it is a black velvet curtain. Do you think there's another brick wall behind there, like there was back at the magic shop? You joke. Only one way to find out, Sid says. You walk up to the curtain, unsure of what may happen next. Before you can part the thick fabric, 3 men dressed in red tights somersault into the room. Scary. They reach the center of the room and begin to juggle. Balls fly through the air. Faster and faster. Then they started juggling. Okay. I'm going to drink my drink now. Then, to your amazement, the balls turn into balls of fire. One of the jugglers turns your way and throws a glowing fireball right at you. Oh no! Do you know how to juggle? If you can juggle, turn to page 17. If you can't juggle, turn to page 28. Well, I'm going to be honest with you all. I can't even catch a single ball. So, I'm just going to go to You Can't Juggle. You can't juggle? That's okay. Not too many people can. RL got us. It's really hard. But this is a story about magic. So now, presto, you can magically juggle. Wonder what happens if we say we can juggle. Is the book going to be impressed if we say we can juggle? Oh no, it just sends you exactly to the same page that you go to if you can juggle. That's very funny. Well, I'm saving this bookmark for a real choice. Look out, you shout. The balls of fire speed toward you. You put your hands in front of your face. You catch a fireball and toss it back. Before you can take a breath, the jugglers throw another fireball at you. Once again, you manage to toss it back. Why aren't my hands burning up, you wonder? You notice Sid and Joni gazing at you in awe. The jugglers surround you. Somehow you manage to return every ball they throw. As you toss the flaming balls in the air, the jugglers speak in eerie, flat tones. We, says one juggler. No, says the second. Who you are, says the third. It's kind of a lot of the heavy lifting on the third juggler there, huh? What do you mean? Youch! It starts to talk and juggle at the same time. You drop the fiery ball and poof, all the other balls vanish. You took the magician's book, the first juggler says. The magician wants it back, says the second. Then he'll eat you for dinner, says the third. Kind of an escalation. Before we end up on the dinner menu, Sid interrupts the jugglers. Can you take off these cuffs? The first juggler somersaults over to Sid. He jiggles with the cuffs and they clatter to the floor. Hey, that was kind of a bro move. How did you do that, you ask? When you and Sid try to unlock the handcuffs, it seems impossible. It's a trick, the juggler answers. Everything is a trick. Suddenly, all three jugglers freeze. The magician, they cry together. He's coming. All three disappear in a puff of smoke. The magician will be here any minute. Those jugglers made it sound like we're goners, Sid whispers to you. Even if we give him back his book, Joni adds glumly. You've got to act fast. But you can't escape because you don't know where you are. Besides, there doesn't seem to be a normal door in this black room. Your only hope is to hide the book. Then the magician will need you alive if he wants the book back. We've got to hide the book, you tell Sid and Joni. I'm going to put it in the coffin. No, Sid says. It'll be too easy to find. Let's look around. You search the room for a hiding place. There isn't much choice. A wide shelf runs along one wall. On it sits a large fish bowl with 3 exotic fish and an old-fashioned metal birdcage with a yellow canary. If you still think the coffin is the best place to hide the book, turn to page 101. If you hide the book in the fish bowl, turn to page 22. If you put the book in the birdcage, turn to page 132. I'm gonna follow my first instinct and put it in the coffin because I don't want to put a book in with something that it can harm. Like, you can't just put a book in a fish bowl with 3 exotic fish. You'll kill the fish. And what if that canary is a dinosaur? Because they are. So I'm afraid of the bird and I don't want to hurt the fish. So page 101. And it's bad for the book. You decide the coffin is the best place to hide the book. You run over to it and try to lift the lid, but it won't budge. Help me, you yell to Joni and Sid. Maybe together we can pry it open. Joni and Sid rush over to the coffin. Grunting and groaning, the 3 of you tug on the heavy lid. It gives an inch, then 2 inches, enough to slip the book inside. Then the lid snaps shut, almost taking your fingers with it. Just in time. A sound behind you makes you whirl around. You see a black hat topple off the shelf across the room. A black crow flies out. It circles the room, then lands on the coffin. You watch, stunned, as the crow turns into the magician. You 3 meddling children have taken something of mine. I'm here to get it back. The magician's voice echoes throughout the room. He takes a step toward you. Which one of you has my book? He demands. We lost it, you say quickly. Don't you dare lie to me. The whole room seems to shake with the sound of his voice. Lies make me very angry. You don't want to see me when I'm angry, the magician warns. The magician points at you. Sparks fly from his fingers. What is he doing to you? Read page 66. You glance down and see that your feet are no longer touching the floor. You float higher and higher. The magician snaps his fingers. You're turned upside down, suspended in midair. Then you start shaking like a salt shaker. Everything from your pants pockets falls to the ground. When the magician is satisfied that you don't have the book, he does the same thing to Sid and Joni. Gum wrappers, markers, rubber bands, even a sandwich fall onto the floor. Joni! You must have hidden the book, the magician realizes. Thud! You, Sid, and Joni drop to the floor. Hey! Joni complains. That hurt. She rubs her backside. That was nothing, the magician growls. You have a terrible feeling he's telling the truth. The magician claps his hands, and a tiny hourglass is suddenly hanging from a rope around your neck. The sand will run out in exactly 1 hour, he explains. If you fail to return the book in perfect condition, you will join my collection. What collection, you ask? Out of nowhere, a gust of wind blows aside the velvet curtain behind the coffin. What you see makes all three of you scream in terror. Dun dun dun. You were right. Behind the curtain is a brick wall, but there's something else too. A wooden cabinet with rows of glass shelves, and on the shelves are heads. Human heads. Ooh. You, Sid, and Joni stand frozen in fear. You can't tear your eyes away from this horrible sight. 12 shrunken human heads stare back at you. You monster, you shout. You force yourself to face the evil magician, but he disappears through the brick wall again. You have to think of something. You really don't want to have your head shrunk. You don't even want to see Joni get her annoying head shrunk. Now what? Sid asks. Let's give the book back, Joni says. I don't think we should, Sid argues. He might not let us go after we give him what he wants. That book is our only assurance that he won't hurt us. At least for an hour, he adds, glancing at the hourglass. But if we don't give him the book, he'll take our heads for sure, Joni counters. They turn to you for a decision. If you think you should give the book back to the magician now, turn to page 78. If you think you'll have better luck by hanging on to the book and trying to find a way to escape, turn to page 36. Well, maybe I'm a good kid. Maybe I just want to give the book back to the magician. Maybe I just want this whole thing to be over. I'm a good kid. Joni isn't. Although Sid's the one saying not to do it this time, I think we should listen to our adorable little sister and try to appease the grown-up. I think we'd better give the magician what he wants, you tell them. Joni and Sid nod. You sigh and walk over to the coffin. But when you lift the lid, you discover the book has disappeared. See, it's not that simple. It's gone, you shout. Joni and Sid rush over to the coffin. They peer inside. Okay, the fact that this is the only route where this happens makes me think that something terrible happens if we put the book in with the canary or with the fish. That's my thinking. Maybe there's a secret compartment, Sid suggests. You hear footsteps. They sound as if they're coming closer and closer. Do you think it's the magician? Joni whispers. I don't know, but I sure don't want to find out, you tell her. Let's hide in the coffin. So you're going to hide in the coffin, which ate the book. You, Joni, and Sid climb into the empty coffin. The lid clicks shut above you. The three of you are squished together. Watch your elbow, Joni snaps. Hey, that was my eye, Sid complains. You get a mouthful of Joni's hair. You're starting to sweat. You feel as if you're going to suffocate. You have to get some air. You place your feet on one side of the coffin and push. You try to create some space between you, Joni, and Sid. Your shoulders press against the opposite side of the coffin. You hear a loud click. What was... Swoosh! The bottom of the coffin pops open. You're suddenly sliding down a metal chute. Faster and faster, tumbling over and over. The chute comes to a sudden end. You crash land onto the hard floor. Joni and Sid hit the floor next to you. Look for the book, you say, jumping up. Joni spots the magic book lying on the floor by a tall wooden cabinet. Just as she reaches for it, a man steps out from behind the cabinet. His foot lands squarely on the book. The man is tall and dressed in a sequined white suit. He wears a blue mask that covers half his face. You can tell he has no idea he is standing on the magic book. You want to keep it that way. Welcome, 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 the masked man says. Are you my new assistants? I don't know what accent I was doing there for him. We will find it as we go. Why, yes, we are, you say. You glance at Joni. She gives you a little nod. Then you wink at Sid. He winks back. He understood your plan immediately. You approach the masked man and shake his hand, pulling him off the book. Nice to meet you, you say, walking him towards Sid. You glance back to see Joni grab the magic book and slip it into her backpack. Oh, good, the masked man replies. I can never seem to keep assistants. Now, come along. He's French. The masked man leads you over to a low table. You don't like what you see. On it is a long, gleaming sword and a very sharp saw. A long box lies on a table nearby. Which trick would you like to do? The masked man asks. The cabinet of swords? Or would you rather be sawn in half? You don't like those options. But he's waiting. Choose! To be sawn in half, turn to page 49. To try your luck in the Cabinet of Swords, turn to page 55. Fuck it, it's on the cover. Let's get sawn in half, baby. No time like the present. We already have a bookmark here. I'll do the sawn in half trick, you say. At least you've seen this trick before. Who knows what a Cabinet of Swords is? Excellent! The masked man claps his hands. The table with the long box on it rolls toward you. Taking your hand, the masked man helps you climb into the box. You lie down in the hard wooden box. Your head sticks out on one end. So, what do I do? You ask. You gaze up at the masked man. He looks awfully nervous. Leave it all to me, he tells you. He ties a blindfold over your eyes and plunks the lid on the box. If I can just remember what I am supposed to do, you hear the masked man mutter. You don't like the sound of that. Hey, you shout. You pound on the lid. I changed my mind. I want to do the other trick. But no one answers. You listen hard, trying to figure out what's going on. Then you hear the sharp teeth of a large saw slicing through the lid of the box. Oop, 135 is all the way at the end. You pound harder on the box. Help, you shout. Get me out of here. The teeth of the saw slice back and forth, inches from your stomach. You can't take it anymore. You pass out. When you open your eyes, you're still in the box. Your blindfold is off. You touch your stomach, still in one piece. And there isn't any blood or pain, just an odd tickling sensation. I guess it really was just a trick, you tell yourself. You can hear applause. That was a great trick, you hear Joni say. Really cool, comes Sid's voice. The lid is lifted. The masked man peers down at you. All right in there? He asks. You bet. You climb out of the box and immediately fall over. What's wrong? I have a guess. What's wrong with me, you ask? You try to stand up, but your muscles don't seem to be working. You hear a gasp. Sid and Joni rush toward you. The masked man holds out his hand and helps you to your feet. You glance down. Your mouth drops open in horror. Your feet! Your feet are on backwards! That was not what I guessed. You turn to the masked man. What did you do to me? You demand. The trick was going so well, he explains. I sawed you in half without a problem, but then... He shrugs his shoulders. Sid and Joni crowd around you. You have to fix this, Sid shouts. Joni gazes at your backward bottom half in awe. Oh my god, we're ass forward. I can try, the masked man says. He picks up the saw. No way, you yell. Who knows what kind of mistake he'll make next time? Well, Joni says, Mom always complains that you don't know if you're coming or going. Now you have an excuse. The end. Okay, so getting sawn in half means we become ass forward, or ass backward, I suppose. So I guess we better try our luck in the Cabinet of Swords, huh? Page 55. Okay. You hope the Cabinet of Swords won't be as deadly as it sounds. Let's get to work, the masked man commands, clapping his hands. Now you stand there. He yanks Sid to one side of the wooden cabinet. And you stand right there. He instructs Joni, pulling her to the other side of the cabinet. Then he passes a hand over her face and mutters a few strange words. Her expression goes completely blank. He does the same thing to Sid. Sid stares into space, unmoving, unblinking. What did you do to them? You stammer. It's for the trick, the masked man informs you. They're under my spell, of course. Of course. What kind of trick is this, you ask? You'll see right now. The masked man waves his hands over his head. Sid and Joni open the doors of the tall cabinet. Inside, you see the blades of 10 swords running from one side of the cabinet to the other. Somehow you don't think you're going to like being this guy's assistant. You watch as Joni and Sid silently pull each sword from the cabinet. They place them on the low table with the other gleaming sword. When all 10 swords are removed, the masked man waves his hands again. He pronounces some more strange-sounding words. Sid and Joni push you into the cabinet. You hear the lock snap shut. Silence and darkness surround you. This is worse than being squished in the coffin. At least there you had some company. And you weren't waiting to find out what those swords were going to be used for. But you don't have to wait long. Something hard and cold slides in front of your ankles. You peek down. Yikes! It's the long blade of a sword. And there are 10 more to go. Oh no! Go to page 30. Okay. I sure will. See, this is the thing, is I simply wouldn't be in this situation. It's a trick, you tell yourself. But how does it work? A second sword pierces through the cabinet. Without thinking, you lift your foot and step onto the sword as it slices to the other side. Somehow, it manages to hold your weight. That's it, you realize. I have to step on each sword as it comes through the cabinet wall. It's difficult, but you manage to keep your balance as you climb on top of each sword that slides into the cabinet. By the time the final sword is pushed through, you're crouching in a tiny space at the top. Now what? You wonder. Then the swords are slowly pulled out again. As each sword slides out, you place a foot on the sword below it. Finally, you're standing again at the bottom of the cabinet. The door flings open. Excellent! The masked man congratulates you. Such good work should be rewarded. What is it that you want? We want to get out of here, you tell the masked man. How do we escape this crazy place? The masked man gazes at you sadly. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you that. This guy is just like... He's just trying to figure out his next cool trick for the magic castle. He doesn't want anything to do with this. He can't help us. He just doesn't know what he's fucking doing and almost killed so many people. I can't tell you, the masked man continues, but I know 2 people who can. He snaps his fingers at Joni and Sid, awaken from their trance. They glance around, dazed. What happened? Sid asks. The masked man's going to tell us how to get out of here, you explain. Good, Joni says, because the sand in the hourglass has almost run out. You hold up the tiny hourglass. It's still on the rope around your neck. You'd almost forgotten about it. But Joni's right. There's very little sand left. You're down to minutes now. Who can tell us the way out? You ask the masked man. You can ask Monsieur Knowledge, he tells you. He knows everything. He answers all questions. The masked man picks up a piece of rope and throws it into the air. The rope stiffens, then rises up to the ceiling. It disappears into darkness. Monsieur Knowledge is performing up there, he says, waving at the rope. Or you could ask Ms. Cardsharp. She would know the way out. She's playing cards right now. To meet Mr. Knowledge, climb the rope to page 97. If you want to meet Ms. Cardsharp, go to page 82. Now listen, here's the thing. I don't know how to climb a rope. Or at least I do, but I know I can't. And Ms. Cardsharp sounds hot. And her page number is the exact number of people who are watching right now. And I think that's a sign. So I'm going to go meet the hot woman who's playing cards. I hope she is hot. We have to meet her. We choose Ms. Cardsharp, you say enthusiastically. I love playing cards. I'm a champion. Yes, Scopa, exactly.
Scopa!
I'm so sorry about my sniffles. Please ignore me. It's disgusting. I love playing cards. I'm a champion. At what? Joni says. Go fish? You ignore the remark. Good choice, the masked man tells you. If you win, Miss Cardsharp will tell you anything you want to know. Something occurs to you. What if I lose, you ask? Then you must do whatever the winner wants, is his response. I'll just have to make sure I win, you tell yourself. The masked man knocks twice on the front of the sword cabinet. The door swings open. The masked man gestures for you to step inside. Joni and Sid climb in behind you. The door creaks shut. The cabinet begins to spin round and round. You're getting very dizzy. Sid is looking pretty green. If the twirling doesn't stop soon, you're going to throw up. But at least we didn't have to climb a rope, right? Page 39. Oof. The cabinet stops. Phew! You don't think you could have taken any more. Your stomach settles down. Sid's face turns back to its normal color. That was fun! Joni exclaims. You glare at her. The door of the cabinet is flung open. A woman with frizzy blonde hair smiles at you. She wears a red striped shirt, a black vest, and shiny black pants. She has a visor sitting low on her forehead. She shuffles a deck of cards. She does sound hot. So what does a hot woman sound like? Let me think. Just kidding. I already know what I'm going to do for her. Hey, I hear you want to play a little cards, she says. You've come to the right place. She talks so fast you can barely understand her. We're just about to start a new game. You, Joni, and Sid step out of the cupboard. You find yourself in a small room with a large round table with 5 empty chairs. The table is covered with a smooth green cloth. Yellow, red, and blue chips are piled on the edge of the table. You hear the rustling of the cards flying through Miss Cardsharp's fingers. Now, meet your opponents, Miss Cardsharp says. Meet Mr. Lucky Luck, Miss Cardsharp announces. A short man with bright red hair enters the room. He sits down at the table. He's wearing a shirt covered with 4-leaf clovers. Rabbit's feet hang from his belt. There's a horseshoe around his neck. Meet Miss 9 Lives, Miss Cardsharp shouts. Meow, says a tall woman. She's dressed like a black cat. 2 cat ears stick up on either side of her head. Oh my god, it is Samantha Quick. Meet Mr. Rambler Gambler. A tall man in a sparkling gold suit walks into the room and takes his seat. Diamonds sparkle on his fingers. Well, that's our little group, Miss Cardsharp says. Take a seat, let the games begin. With that, all the other players sit down at the table. You glance over at Sid and Joni. They each give you a thumbs up, like that. That makes you feel a little better. You pull out a chair and sit down. They made the one guy talk who I was like, I know what they want me to do, and I can't fucking do it. What shall we play? Mr. Lucky Luck asks. How about Kaboopy? I'm lucky at Kaboopy. That was probably Irish, right? No one tell any Irish person you know how that sounded. It was so bad. Uh-oh, you've never heard of Kaboopy. What if they only play games you don't know? Have they ever heard of Balatro? Why don't we play draw? You managed to say. You usually do well at draw, and it's safer than trying to play a game you don't know. Everyone seems to like the idea. Miss Cardsharp does some fancy shuffling. Then she takes a card from the middle of the deck and places it on the table in front of her. She passes the deck to her left. The deck of cards is passed around the table. Each person takes a card and puts it face down on the table. Then the deck of cards reaches you. With a trembling hand, you pull a card from the deck. You take a deep breath and cross your fingers for luck. What card did you draw? Find a deck of playing cards. Shuffle them, and then, without looking, draw 1 card. Put the card face down in front of you, then take a deep breath and turn to page 74. Okay. So I don't have that handy. Wait. Oh my god, I fucking do. Holy shit. Yes, I absolutely do have a deck of playing cards. They are for Scopa, though. But hey, you know what? It's cards and it counts. This is my Scopa deck. It is not what he is looking for. But I am going to use it anyway. Gotta play the sound, you're right.
Scopa!
Oh my god, I can't believe this. Why does he just think I have a deck of playing cards? I mean, it was the 90s. I guess everyone had decks of playing cards back then. I have to give it a little shuffle. 7s are best, that's true. I forgot how to play Scopa. Let's see. Shuffle them. Without looking, draw a card. Put the card face down in front of you. Okay, they're already probably pretty shuffled, but I'm just going to give it a quick, one more around. And then one more around. Okay, and then I'm going to just put that all together because I'm really, really good at shuffling. You can't see, but I'm doing amazing shuffling just below the view of the camera. Okay. I've drawn a card. I'm going to put the rest back in the deck. What is Scopa? Great question. It is a card game for Italian grandfathers. And it's great. Okay, turn to page 74. Butterflies dance in your stomach as everyone at the table turns over their cards. Miss Cardsharp turns over the 10 of clubs. Ms. 9 Lives turns over the Jack of Hearts. Mr. Rambler Gambler turns over the King of Spades. Mr. Lucky Luck turns over the 5 of Clubs. Your card is still face down on the table. You're afraid to turn it over. Only an ace can beat the king. Oh my god, I have such a sniffle right now. I'm so sorry. If you win, Miss Cardtrap will have to tell you the way out. If you lose, you'll have to do whatever the winner says. Turn over your card. Is it an ace? Did you beat the king of spades? It is not. It is a 4 of coins. So sad. I can't even, like, if it were a 7, I'd be like, yep, that's an ace, because 7 is the best in Scopa. However, coins are good, but not if we're trying to win here. Okay. I need to, like, remember how to play Scopa. It has been so long. But, yeah, 7's best all. So if I pulled a 7, I would have considered that an ace. But we lost, which sucks. So I'm going to mark this page on the off chance we can go back and pretend we won. But for now, we're just going to be honest. The odds were against us. 63. You lost. Your card doesn't beat the king of spades. It's only a card game, you say, rising from the table. We'll find our way out of here on our own. Hey, not so fast, Mr. Rambler Gambler says sharply. You have to do what I tell you. That was the rule, see? That's why we allowed you into the game. You sit down. You won't go back on a promise. Mr. Rambler Gambler leaves the room. When he comes back in, he is carrying a rhinestone suit and a paper bag. This is my favorite suit, Mr. Rambler Gambler tells you. Each and every one of these little rhinestones here needs to be polished. But don't worry, he adds, your pals can help you. He empties the paper bag on the floor. 3 baby-sized toothbrushes and a bottle of pink liquid roll out. I suggest you get started, Mr. Rambler Gambler says, handing you the suit. You gaze down at the suit in your hands. There must be 4,000 rhinestones on this thing. The grain of sands in the hourglass are going to run out long before you're finished cleaning the suit. You start cleaning. You almost wish the magician would hurry up and find you. At least that way you'll come to a less boring end. We died of rhinestones. Well, let's see what would have happened if we won. We'll do a little bit of a lie and just pretend. A little pretendsy to see what happens if we win. This is it. You can't stall anymore. Everyone is waiting for you to turn over your card. You can't look. You flip over the card with your eyes closed. You hear loud gasps at the table. Hooray! You hear Joni shout. You did it! Sid cheers. You did it? Your eyes open wide. You look down at the card in front of you. I can't believe we pitched a game that was just pure luck. That's crazy. Doesn't matter. It's an ace. You won. Yes, you cry. You jump up from your seat. Joni and Sid throw their arms around you. The 3 of you jump up and down. I did it! I did it! You chant. No one at the table is moving. Big deal, Ms. Cardtrap says flatly. We're playing 500 card draw. You have to do it 499 more times. The end. Girl, what? So Miss Cardtrap was going to kill us anyway. No matter what. The hot lady was going to kill us. Will we learn a lesson from that? Probably not. Probably we won't. So it means we should probably retrace our footsteps just a little and go to Mr. Knowledge, who is probably going to sound inexplicably like Miss Cardsharp. Yeah, I would have kicked their asses at poker or blackjack. But no, he picked a luck-based game with nebulous rules. Hold on, I'm going to allow it. There we go. There we go. You decide to ask Mr. Knowledge the way out, but first you have to climb up the rope. You want me to climb up that rope? Sid asks. No way, I'm the one who gets picked last in gym for every team. Come on, you say. At least you can try. Joni and I will help you. I'll give you a boost up on my shoulders. It's easy, Joni assures Sid. Joni, you weigh 30 pounds. She scrambles up the rope and disappears into the darkness. This does not seem to make Sid feel any better. You kneel down and let Sid stand on your shoulders. Slowly, you stand up. Your knees wobble. You weigh a ton, you gasp. That's right, Sid says. Tease me about my weight. Oh, forget it, you say. Just climb. Sid manages to put one hand over the other and climbs up the rope. As soon as he lifts off your shoulders, you scurry up behind him. You can do it, Sid, you encourage him. But, can he? Turn to page 43. That's the book asking, not me. I know I can't. I'm not going to judge. I'm not here to criticize Sid. As you near the top, you check the sand in the hourglass. Not much time left. You give Sid one last shove. He falls forward over the edge of the opening in the ceiling. You pull yourself up and over, flopping onto the floor beside him. No time to rest, you tell the others. The sand's almost run out. We've got to find Mr. Knowledge. As soon as you say Mr. Knowledge, lights flash on. You're standing in the back of another theater. A drum roll announces that the performance is about to begin. You, Sid, and Joni quickly find empty seats. A man in a dark brown suit walks on stage. He pulls on his thin mustache and peers at the audience. Hey, ask me any question, he says. I know all the answers. I'm Mr. Knowledge. What's a henway? Someone shouts from the audience. Do you know? Yes? Go to page 26. No? Go to page 38. I don't know. I'm going to page 38. I'm honest. I'm an honest child. What's a henway? You have no idea. Mr. Knowledge must be very smart. A henway's about 6 pounds, Mr. Knowledge says. You groan. That old joke. It's Henway. It's a better joke when you see it written than when you hear it out loud, which is unfortunate because in the premise of the scene, you're hearing it out loud. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Someone calls from the audience. Hey, practice, 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 Mr. Knowledge answers. Why did the chicken cross the road? Someone shouts. Why do firemen wear red suspenders? Another person calls. You turn to Joni and Sid. These are just stupid old jokes, you say. I don't think Mr. Knowledge will be any help to us. I don't know why I said it like I've never heard an English word before. Hold on. I don't think Mr. Knowledge will be any help to us. Agreed, Sid said. Let's check out Miss Cardsharp. You, Joni, and Sid find a side door and sneak out of the auditorium. The door opens into a small room. The only furniture is a round table with 5 empty chairs placed around it. A woman with frizzy blonde hair stands in front of the table, shuffling cards. I'm Miss Cardsharp. Time to meet your fellow players. Are you kidding? Oh, my God. Well, maybe we know what a hen weighs. Maybe that. What's a hen weigh? Page 26. Hey, what's a hen weigh? Mr. Knowledge repeats the question. You can't help yourself. A hen weighs about 6 pounds, you shout from the audience. You love these old jokes. Mr. Knowledge gazes out at the audience. Hey, very good, my young friend. You may ask the next question. You know exactly what to ask. How do we escape from here? Mr. Knowledge looks startled. That is an interesting question. It requires an interesting answer. Please join me on stage. Oh, hey, Cam. Welcome, Raiders. We're doing a live reading of Give Yourself Goosebumps Under the Magician's Spell. And right now we have just asked Mr. Knowledge how to escape from the evil demon dimension that the magician has trapped us in. You, Joni, and Sid race up to the stage. When you're standing beside Mr. Knowledge, you're amazed to see that the entire audience has vanished. The answer to your question is in the red ball. Mr. Knowledge explains it's always the balls with these guys. He pulls a small red ball from his pocket and places it on the table in front of him. From a drawer in the table, he produces 3 small cups. He puts them in a row, 1 cup on the right, 1 cup in the middle, and 1 cup on the left. Then Mr. Knowledge takes the red ball and places it under the middle cup. Now what? Are they going to make me play the shell game in a book? That's crazy. Do you know what's also crazy? Anytime they tell me to turn to a page, that's the number of viewers I have. Is that weird or what? Hopefully they ask me to turn to page 400. Mr. Knowledge begins to move the cups around the table. He starts slowly at first, then his hands move faster and faster. He switches the middle cup with the right one. Then he moves the left cup into the middle of the other 2. The cup now on the left and the cup on the right are swapped. You're getting dizzy watching his hands move. Where is the red ball? Mr. Knowledge asks. If you answer correctly, I'll tell you what you want to know. I think the ball's still under the middle cup. I don't know how the shell game works, but this is silly. I can't keep watch on this shit. Well, that was incorrect. And they aren't even creative about it. They just are like, wrong! Go back to the page! I just want to know if I'm right. Okay. Okay. I think it's under the left because based on what I'm rereading here. So I'm going to go with that. And hopefully we're correct. You pick up the cup on the left. The three of you hold your breath, waiting to see if you're correct. So much is riding on your choice. It's your only hope of escape. Mr. Knowledge lifts up the cup on the right. No red ball. So far, so good. I'll give you a chance to change your mind, Mr. Knowledge offers. He places his hand on the left cup. You stare at it. Is the red ball under there? No, I'm not going to change my mind. I'm sticking with left cup. Left cup, left cup. You, Sid, and Joni all have your eyes glued on the cup to the left. You hold your breath as Mr. Knowledge slowly, so slowly, lifts up the left cup. The red ball rolls out. We win! You cheer. You, Sid, and Joni slap high fives.
Scopa!
It is RL. His tell. We found it. Okay. I got so excited that we slapped high fives. Okay. Now, Mr. Knowledge, how do we get out of here? The answer is in the red ball. He hands the small ball to you. Throw it against the wall and the answer will be revealed. You hurl the ball against the wall. On impact, the ball splatters into red paint. The paint runs in all directions until it makes a doorway. You glance down at the hourglass. Oh no, there are just a few grains of sand left. Run for the door, you shout, pushing Sid and Joni forward. We're almost out of time. The three of you jump through the red doorway and find yourselves back inside the magic shop. We did it, Sid cheers. We're back in the mall. Then you hear it. Ha 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 ha. Turn to page 11. The horrible laughter fills your ears. The rotting smell fills your nose. And then, there he is in front of you, the magician. There's no escape, he sneers. He grabs the hourglass around your neck and pulls hard. The cord snaps. Just a few more grains of sand left, he says, holding up the hourglass for you to see. Then I'll have 3 new heads for my collection. The magician waves his hand. The wooden cabinet appears. He snaps his fingers. The doors fly open. The terrible shrunken heads stare out at you. The chubby one will go first, the magician says. Mean. You hear a clanking of metal wheels. You gasp. A real guillotine rolls into the center of the room. Feels like there's got to be an easier way to do this than guillotining us. You stare at the glistening blade of the guillotine. You can't tear your eyes away. Then you notice Sid. He's taking strange, stiff steps towards the terrible machine. Sid, you cry, what are you doing? You rush over and grab his arm, but he doesn't stop. Ha, 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 ha. You whirl around and glare at the magician. Stop laughing, you scream. What did you do to him? You see Joni trembling in the corner. He's in my power, the magician boasts. There's nothing you can do. You shake Sid hard. He looks like a zombie. His eyes are glassy and he has the same blank expression on his face as those gruesome heads staring at you from the cabinet. The trance must have made Sid stronger. He easily shakes you off. He lies down and places his head under the terrible blade. No, Sid, no! You glance at the hourglass dangling from the magician's hand. Only 5 grains left. Time is running out. You've got to do something. You can't stand here and watch your best friend get his head chopped off. But what? Turn to page 95. Before it's too late. Pretty close. We'll give you the book, you shout. Just stop the hourglass and release Sid. The magician turns the hourglass on its side. He places it on the floor. You're relieved to see the grains of sand stop flowing through the narrow opening. You can't, Joni shrieks at you. You can't give him back the book. He's evil. He'll use it to do evil magic. You ignore what she says. You pull her backpack off her shoulders. The buckles open under your fingers. You grab the book. Bring it here, the magician commands. I can't watch you do this, Joni says. She sits by her bag and turns her back to you. You clutch the book close to your chest with both hands. You take teeny tiny baby steps across the room. Quit stalling, the magician demands. You cross the room and stand in front of the evil man. The magician snatches the book from your hands. A big smirk appears on his face, but it soon turns into a grimace. Bad hair day, the magician sputters, reading the title of the book out loud. The This is not my book, the magician thunders. Now, you shout to Joni. She jumps to her feet. In her hand is the real magic book. Joni had been waiting for your signal. While you were stalling, she was searching for a magic spell that might help you. No pra eat pas la nuke, Joni pronounces. Huh? You say? You doubt the nonsense she just read will stop the magician. No! The magician roars. His hands fly up as he tries to cover his ears. Joni repeats the strange words. Amazing! The spell seems to be working. No! The magician wails again. He wraps himself entirely in his cape as if he hopes it will block out the sound of the spell. He's completely hidden inside it. Then, the cape drops suddenly to the floor. The magician has vanished. Did the spell work? That depends. Is today your lucky day? The magic book says Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are lucky days. Well, we gotta be honest. We're reading it on a different day. Page 24. They're trying to reward us for reading this at school, but only on some days. That's too bad. This isn't your lucky day. Ha, 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 ha. Oh no, it didn't work. The magician's still alive. But where is he? You eye the crumpled cape. He couldn't still be under there, could he? You creep toward the cape. It's just a piece of fabric, you tell yourself. You try to shake off a feeling of dread as you move slowly forward. Clink! Your foot accidentally hits the hourglass that was sitting on the floor. It skitters across the room, stopping in front of the cape. You reach out for the hourglass, but another hand clutches it first. A hand that stretches out from under the cape. The magician's hand! Okay. You're frozen in fear as you watch the magician's hand grasping the hourglass. Where is the rest of the magician, you wonder? You don't have to wait long to find out. The cape rises until it towers over you. The silky fabric slips to the floor. The magician stands before you, one hand holding the hourglass. His other hand shoots out and grabs you by the throat. You try to scream, but the words are choked off. The magician's fingers squeeze tighter and tighter. The hourglass dangles in front of your eyes. 2 grains of sand left, and then it'll be all over for everyone. You must stop those grains. It's your only hope of defeating the magician. You struggle for air and reach for the hourglass. You miss. Your lungs are burning. You're about to pass out. You have one more chance. You lunge for the hourglass. Do you grab it? Close your eyes. Let your finger land on one of the numbers and then go to that page. Okay. Okay. All right, we're going. We're fucking flipping, baby. You give it all you've got, but your grasp falls just short of the hourglass. Sorry. Joni, you manage to gasp. Help me. Use another spell. As you slip in and out of consciousness, you hear Joni reading something, but you don't understand the words. Your eyes close. You're about to pass out when you become aware that the room is full of people. You feel the magician yanked away from you. Your eyes flutter open. You can't believe what you're seeing. The magician's being stuffed into the cabinet by dozens of attackers who look exactly like you. Joni, you shout, what did you do? She bites her lip. I thought it would be a good spell. She holds out the page for you to read. Multiply your strength. It looks as if the magician has been defeated. As soon as the cabinet door clicks into place, it disappears in a puff of smoke. The other yous turn and gaze at you expectantly. It is a very weird feeling to be stared at by dozens of faces identical to your own. What are you going to do with them? Wait, Joni mumbles, as if one of you wasn't too many. The end. Well, we did survive. Let's see what would have happened if I had landed on the other page, though. You give it everything you've got. You stretch your arm out so far it starts to cramp. Then, using every ounce of strength you have left, you lunge for the hourglass. You've got it. Every muscle strains as you lift the cord and place it around the magician's neck. The hourglass dangles under his chin. You're not too late. You watch the last piece of sand drop into the bottom of the hourglass. The magician's face begins to change in front of your eyes. His eyes turn up into his skull. Okay, I got confused because the word eyes happened so quickly in such quick succession. I'll try that again. The magician's face begins to change in front of your eyes. His eyes turn up in his skull. This is R.L. Stein. He does these kind of lazy things. The skin on his face bubbles like oatmeal. Gross. You realize that the hand at your throat has relaxed its grip. It hasn't let go yet, but you can take deeper and deeper breaths. Air fills your lungs, and you begin to feel stronger. You reach back and swing your fist at the magician's face. The magician's head topples off his shoulders and bounces around on the floor. Joni screams behind you, but the magician's body still has your neck in a powerful grip. How can a guy without a head choke you? But the fingers at your throat tighten their grip. Help me, you manage to choke out. Joni finds a sword on the wall and chops off the magician's arm. Whoa, girl! You and the arm fall to the ground. Then Joni pries the magician's fingers off your neck. Thanks, you tell Joni. That was close. You stand up and walk over to the head. Yuck, you say, picking it up. You bring it over to the cabinet and place it on an empty shelf. It's over. What's going on? Sid asks. He's sitting on the guillotine. The trance must have been broken when you defeated the magician. It's a long story, you say. Then you notice something. The walls of the shop seem to be dissolving around you. You, Joni, and Sid hurry out the door. You turn back and see that the magic shop has already disappeared. You glance down at the magic book in your hand. It's fading away to nothing. Well, after a day like today, maybe you're not so surprised after all. The end. Okay, so we survived. We learned a lesson, I guess, about how we should be nicer to our sister. I'm going to get some tea because I clearly need it. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, and we'll explore some of these bookmarks that we decided to go the other way on. We'll see what else is on this particular branch of the story. Ooh, but don't go anywhere or I'll turn you into a rabbit. BRB. I have tea, and I have a creature. Look at him. I love you. He was so cozy, and then I picked him up. It's a pretty good creature. Hi, baby. Just love him so much. Yeah. He is perfect. Here, let me hold both of your feetsies so you're not just dingling. There we go. I got him. There we are. What a comfy situation for Goose. He's good. What a perfect little boy. What a perfect little boy. You can't see, but his other paw's right there. He is being bravely accepting of this. And sleepily accepting of it as well. What a good, perfect angel boy. Except for all the, trouble he causes me. But other than that, perfect. I love you. You want to be in my lap? Yes. He's just chilling there. He's just sitting in my lap right now. Very cozy, very comfy. Hi, sweetie boy. Sorry, I'm just like rubbing the sides of his face now. I know you can't see it anymore, but just know that that's happening for him and he's loving it. So good. What a good little man. So patient. So sweet. So approximately the size and shape of a Thanksgiving turkey. Yes. He's just sitting here. He's literally not moving. He's just sitting on my lap. Just being a chill little dude. Love you so much. The thing is, he does do this frequently when the lights aren't on. I think the lights bother him, which makes sense. But if I'm just sitting at my desk, oh, there he goes. He's done. That's how long it took for him to jump down from my lap. If I'm just sitting at my desk, sometimes he'll just come up and be like, time for me to sit in your lap. And I'm like, okay, sure, sounds good. I have some tea. Hoping it'll be helpful as we explore these other branches. Pardon me. Okay. And my headphones back on. Yeah, he's a good goose. And now he's a good goose on the other side of the room. Hi, baby. I love you so much. You're so good. Okay. Noodle, for the record, is right there and is also very good. That's Noodle. That's just this shape. Fast asleep. Doesn't give a fuck. Hi, Goose. What are you doing? He's on his tub now. Yes. He lies down on his tub. He's comfy and cozy. Good boy. Okay. So, let's check out these other branches that we didn't explore yet. I'm going to drink more of this tea because I clearly need it. I'll go from there. Little boy. Hold on. So important. Hi. 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 I need to give them equal love so they know that they're equally loved. I mean, Noodle can't do math, obviously, but I know. Look at him. So happy. Just wants scratch. He's a baby. He is a baby. You're so good. Oof. not a mischievous bone in his body. He simply is just in it for the scritches. And I really love that for him. Goose is the one who's the troublemaker. Noodle simply wants to get scritches. Very good boys, though. All around. Goose, you are a troublemaker, though. Don't look at me like that. I love you, too. Okay, back to it. So that was our first branch. This one right at the beginning is where we decided between using magic and using tools. That is where the main split in the book happens. So we're not going to explore that for copyright reasons. Let's see what happens if we were to hide that book in the bird cage. I do have a feeling it would have been an insta-death, as with the fishbowl, but let's find out. And also, let me fix all my stuff that I knocked over because I love my boys so much. There we go. No, Noodle does not understand the concept of right and wrong. Okay, let's start with the bird cage because I feel like that one's such an obvious, like, oh no, we're gonna die one. Pardon me. When allergies are getting the best of me on a terrible day for it. Page 132. Thank you. Hello, Japan of Green Gables. We could probably play a round of Balatro after this if people are interested in that. Since I probably can't read as long as I typically would like to, given the fact that my voice is not doing great. Okay. The birdcage, you decide. Good idea. Sid grabs the book and races across the room. He sticks his finger into the birdcage. Don't be scared, little bird, he croons. I'm going to open your cage and put something inside. Hurry it up, you urge. The magician could be here any minute. And don't forget to put the book under the paper lining in the cage. We don't want bird doo-doo all over the book. That's a good point. Also because it'll be harder to see that way. But mostly the poop thing. Of course I was going to cover the book, Sid snaps. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Stupid. I missed a word, and it was critical. Stupid. Of course I was going to cover the book, Sid snaps. You don't have to call me stupid. I didn't, you declare, but if you didn't, who did? You idiot. Okay, you cry. Which one of you called me an idiot? Dummies. It's the bird talking, Sid exclaims. You and Joni rush over to the bird cage. Say something else, bird, Joni coaxes. Sid opened the cage and slips his hand aside. That's when you hear a new voice. I wouldn't do that if I were you. We'll find out what that voice sounds like when I turn the page. Sid, Joni, you whisper. If none of us said that, and the bird didn't say that, who said that? The magician? Joni squeaks. The three of you turn slowly and scan the room. A man steps out of the shadows. It's not the magician, but you don't feel any better. This is the biggest, grossest looking guy you've ever seen. His massive body towers over you. Your eyes travel up, up, up to the man's face. His skin is the color your face turns when you're about to be sick. Drool runs out of the corner of his mouth. You can smell his foul breath from across the room. He's one creepy dude, and he doesn't look happy. We're in big trouble, you think. The giant's voice booms. Give me my bird! You got it, man. The giant reaches out for the bird in Sid's hand. See, I thought this was going to be an insta-death. We got a whole other thing going on here. The guy's hand is as big as Sid's head. Is my little bird okay? The giant makes kissing sounds at the bird. I'm a vanilla guest, she explains. I was practicing throwing my voice. You mean you're a ventriloquist? Joni corrects the man. Good move, Joni, you think. Get the giant mad. The huge man peers down at Joni. Uh-oh, you think. Here it comes. You're cute, the giant tells Joni. I know, she replies. They smile at each other. You don't believe it. Joni's cute act is working on this gross guy. Can you show us how to get out of here? Joni asks, flashing her dimples. Come with me, the giant says, taking Joni's hand. Joni, wait, you call. You're not sure you can trust this guy. Do you want to just sit here and wait for the magician? Joni asks you. She's got a point, Sid adds. What do you think? Should you go with the ugly giant? Does it matter that he's ugly? Turn to page 110. If you think it would be better to wait, go to page 67. Let's go with the giant. In for a penny, in for a pound. Okay, you tell the others. Let's get out of here. The giant opens a trap door in the floor. He pulls Joni through it. Sid follows closely behind. You peer into the dark hole in the floor. A damp smell makes your nose crinkle. You see crooked steps leading down. You hope this wasn't a mistake. You climb down the steps. You find yourself in a dark tunnel. Mold and cobwebs cling to the rough walls. The others are far ahead of you. You have to follow the sounds of their voices. You finally come to an open doorway. You glance inside, and you're met with a weird sight. Sid is sitting on the giant's knee. There's another kid sitting on the giant's other knee. The ugliest kid you've ever seen. But you don't see Joni anywhere. What's going on? Goose wants to know too. Look at him back there, dying of curiosity. Goose, what you doing? What are you up to? He's just chilling. Goose. Try not to block the view of the reason you're all here. Where's my sister, you demand, racing into the room. The giant smiles his creepy smile at you. You're just in time for the show. That's when you notice the kid next to Sid isn't a real kid. It's a ventriloquist dummy, a really ugly dummy. Where's Joni, you ask again. Of course, knowing Joni, she could have wandered off by herself. The dummy's red eyes blink open. I'm Freaky Freddy, the dummy says. Children don't like me. They think I'm too scary to look at. Sid, come on, you say. We have to find Joni. But Sid just stares blankly ahead. It's as if he were made of wood. Uh-oh. I need cuter dummies for my act, the giant explains. Then people will like me. No, you think it can't be. You notice a large cabinet. You rush toward it and yank it open. Joni, you shriek. She gazes at you silently. She's a dummy, and crumpled beside her is another dummy. You pick it up and gasp in horror. The dummy has your face. You now know how this will end. That's crazy. We got turned into ventriloquist dummies. But no, we didn't. One got modeled after us, and then I guess he just eats us or something. What's the point of that? Well, it was an insta-death, for the record. I flipped past the page while we were getting to the page we needed, and you die immediately. So, they just really prolong it, and they don't make it about the bird at all. Let's see what happens if we hide it in the fishbowl. Which I really don't want to do. That's the worst one to me. Hi, Noodle. Noodle heard fishbowl and was very curious what that is. Cheers. The boys are out. They're having a time. Okay. Maybe the fishbowl would be a good place to hide the magic book, you say. You walk over to the shelf and peer at the fishbowl. The fish stare back. No way, Joni says. It'll be totally obvious. And the fish might get mad, Sid adds. I don't think that's going to happen, you tell them. You've just noticed the fish aren't real. They're just painted on the inside of the clear bowl. You reach into it and do a double take. You can't believe what you see. Your hand becomes invisible inside the fish bowl. It disappears completely. You test it again. You pull your hand out of the bowl, shake off the water, and then stick it back in. It disappears again. This is so cool. Hey, Joni, you shout. Check this out. Oh my god. My sniffles. I'm so sorry. It's so gross. You watch her eyes travel down your arm to the fishbowl. Her mouth drops when she notices that your hand appears to be gone. Then you lift your arm out of the water. Joni's eyes grow wide with terror. You glance down at the end of your arm where your hand should be. My hand, you gasp. Where's my hand? So our hand is gone. This is why you shouldn't put stuff in fish bowls that don't belong in there. Okay. A look of horror comes over Joni's face as she stares at where your hand should be. Her eyes well up with tears. Aw, she loves us. Here it is, you exclaim. You poke your hand out of your sweater. Gotcha! You double over, laughing. You have a really sick sense of humor, Joni mutters. She sticks out her tongue and stomps away. Hey, now we know the book won't be seen if you put it in the fishbowl, you tell Sid. Either the fishbowl or the water makes things invisible. We better put the book in something to keep it from getting wet, though. But what? Sid reaches into his pants pocket and pulls out a plastic bag. It has half of a peanut butter sandwich in it. He was just saving that for later? Share the wealth, my man. He removes the sandwich and stuffs the whole thing into his mouth. Here you go, he mumbles with his mouth full. You take the baggie from Sid. For some reason, baggie is capitalized. I don't know why. Capital B, baggie. B-A-G-G-I-E. Is that a brand name? Because I don't think it is. You take the baggie from Sid and slip the book inside. Then you drop the baggie into the fishbowl. Also capitalized there. Very odd. Joni comes up beside you. She picks up a short black stick sitting on the shelf and taps it in the fishbowl. What do you think this is? She asks. How should I know, you snap? Maybe it's the magician's magic wand. Quit playing with it. Joni sticks the wand into the bowl and stirs. Oh no, maybe she shouldn't have done that. Joni pulls the magic wand out of the fishbowl. You wait for something terrible to happen. Nothing. It's neat the way the wand disappears when I stick it in the fishbowl, Joni declares. She stirs the water again. I can feel the magic book when I stir, but I can't see it, she adds, pulling the wet wand out of the water. She puts the wand into the bowl a third time. She stirs so hard that water splashes over the rim. Joni, we have to... You never get a chance to finish what you were going to say. You hear a bubbling sound coming from the fishbowl, then gurgling, then whoosh. This is Joni's fault this time. Water gushes out of the fishbowl. You glance at Sid. He stares at the rushing water. Joni shrieks and drops the wand. Water pours onto the floor, rising quickly. The painted fish come to life and start swimming in the knee-deep water. Now you recognize what kind of fish they are. Man-eating piranha. Piranha aren't choosy. They don't mind being kid-eating piranha. This is definitely the end. Yeah, so Joni brought the piranha to life and killed us with them. She is the worst. We're all in agreement, yes. That was her fault. Tea. Oh my god. Boy, I wish I were less sniffly today. I'm sorry. I know I keep bringing it up and then apologizing for it, but man alive. Okay, I'm just trying to find ones we haven't done. Yes, Goose. What's up? What? Yeah? What? Yeah? Do you hear him? Crazy. What? What's the matter? Big yawn. Go back to bed then if you're tired. If we don't follow the giant, it kills us. I can tell you how, but I flipped past it and I kind of spoiled it for myself. I'm sorry. Here. You don't trust this guy. No offense, but I think we should stay here, you say. You hold your breath, wondering what the giant's reaction will be. He lets go of Joni's hand and stalks toward you. Your eyes travel up, up, up to his gross face. You don't believe it. There's a tear starting to trickle down his slimy cheek. You don't want to go with me? The giant asks in a trembling voice. You don't like me? He flings himself onto the floor. His shoulders shake as he wails and moans. He weeps. You, Sid, and Joni exchange puzzled looks. No, we like you a lot. You say, really, we do. But it's no use. The giant's crying so hard he can't even hear you. Huge tears roll onto the floor. You're soon knee-deep in tears. Then chest-deep. Now you can taste the giant's salty tears. You're going under, under. You start crying yourself when you realize that this is the end. See, we drowned to death in the giant's tears because we hurt his feelings. I'm going to really quickly blow my nose again, and then we'll explore these last few bookmarks. Sound good? One sec, I'm not even going to hit the BRB screen. It's going to be 20 seconds. We do deserve that one for being a bully. That's true. Thank you for your patience. It's time to read more book. What would have happened if we read the book on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday in that final climactic fight with the magician? Would he have fucking died? Would we have won and it would have been amazing? Because we did manage to win that, even though it isn't a Friday. But I'd love to know. Interesting. This is your lucky day. As soon as the magician disappears, Sid wakes up from his trance. He and Joni race for the door. You stand over the cape, staring at it. It's strange to think how frightened you were only moments before. And it was this cape that had you so scared. You pick the cape up off the floor. It's so smooth and silky, you have to wrap it around you. It feels good. You knot the strings under your chin. You gaze down at the beautiful fabric. You begin to turn, then you twirl, faster and faster. You love the way the cape floats out behind you. Hey, come on, Joni calls from the doorway. Let's get out of here, Sid adds. You turn toward their voices. Puny children. They're nothing before your great power. You know what you must do. You snap your fingers. Behind you, the cabinet door opens. You watch Sid's mouth drop open, and Joni's eyes grow wide in terror. Your heads will be perfect for my collection, you tell them. The guillotine rolls farther into the room. You have become the new magician. The end. That's a pretty spooky ending, considering they were like, oh, it's your lucky day. I think we wound up getting the best ending by just surviving and it not being our quote-unquote lucky day. It is a good ending. I liked it. We became all powerful. And we don't have to hang out with our annoying friend and sister anymore. What would have happened if we strangled Joni in the mall instead of trying to be nice to her? It just tells you to take a deep breath and be nice to our sister. And it sends you to the page that you would have gone to anyway. That is funny, though. It says, you know better than that, and then just sends you to page 6. So, what happens if, instead of giving the book back to the magician now, we hang on to the book and try to find a way to escape? Because last time we tried to give him the book back because we were a good kid. Maybe we don't be a good kid this time. Maybe we be a bad kid. Hello, Goose. He was meowing before because he wanted me to show him that there was food in his bowl. And there was. So he ate some of it and now it looks like he's good. Hi, baby. Yes. He just licked his whole face. Sorry, I just scratched under his chin. We're back. Okay, sorry. He's just so cute. How can I say no? He's like Joni in a lot of ways. He's adorable and so annoying. I love him. And Noodle is like Sid because he has a southern accent. And it's not very convincing. You don't think the magician will let you go once you give him the book. Your best bet is to escape now. But how? If the magician got out, you say, so can we. But he's magic, Joni counters. And he knows his way around. He probably built this creepy room. Fine, you tell her. Don't help. Your pointy little head will look great on that shelf. Joni stamps her feet. The hollow sound echoes in the small room. Quit picking on me, she whines. You and Sid roll your eyes. Come on, Sid, you say. Maybe we can find some sort of trap door. You begin tapping on the brick wall, searching for a hidden door. Joni stomps over to the corner. She sits there and pouts. You ignore her and wave at the coffin. This stuff had to be brought in here somehow, you tell Sid. You have a nagging feeling that you had the solution a minute ago, but it slipped away. Joni's singing TV jingles. She's so annoying. Joni, cut it out, you yell. We're trying to... Then something occurs to you. As strange as it seems, you think the answer is in something Joni said or did. Is the clue in something Joni said? Find out on page 46. Is the clue in something Joni did? Turn to page 108. Now, I think what they're trying to say, they're hinting at her stomping making a hollow sound. That's my guess, though. But I'm going to follow that instinct. I think it's something that she did. Oh, Jiminy's journal, you have that backwards. Goose is adorably annoying, and Noodle is annoyingly adorable. It's important to clarify. Noodle is not annoying at all. It's just annoying how cute he is. Goose is annoying, and I love him so much. I love you. I just pointed at him, and he looked at me like this, like... Yes, being annoying is part of his charm. Yes. You're positive something Joni did was the clue to your escape, but what was it? You retrace her steps. Sid follows right behind you. When you come to an abrupt stop, Sid bangs into you. I've got it, you cry, jumping up and down. What? Sid demands. You've got what? Joni, you're fantastic. You swoop over to her and plant a big kiss on her head. She stares at you. What did I do? She stammers. When Joni threw her fit, she stamped her foot. You explain.
Am I smart or what?
It made a hollow sound. That means there must be a trap door underneath this spot on the floor. The three of you quickly roll back the rug. There it is, a shiny metal latch on the floor. Your key to freedom. The trap door opens with a creak and a groan. You can see the top of the set of stairs. A wave of damp, musty-smelling air rises up the steps. Come on, you say. You lead the way down the stairs. I can't see anything, Joni complains behind you. Shush, you whisper. We don't know what we'll find down here. That's when you hear it. A blood-curdling scream. Go to page 81 if you dare. And I do dare. I dare so much. Hi, baby. He's falling asleep. He's having a really hard time keeping his eyes open, and it's really, really cute. He's trying to stay awake, but he's just like slowly closing his eyes like this. He'll open it a little, and it's just like back to close. Like, yes, baby, rest your weary little head. What a long day at the office. So sleepy. Chills run down your spine. That scream sounded as if someone was being tortured. The three of you stand perfectly still. Another loud, horrible howl screeches from somewhere above you. Then silence. You don't like what you hear next. Footsteps, and they're headed your way. Should we go back? Joni squeaks. But you have no time to decide. A door opens at the other end of the steps. A face appears in the doorway. A terrifying face. A face with slits where eyes, nose, and mouth should be. Long, black, stringy hair sticks out around the face and hangs down onto the creature's shoulders. You back up into Joni, who stumbles into Sid. Ouch! Get off! You hear behind you. No chance of escape that way. A large hand reaches out and grabs the front of your shirt. Help! You cry. Hurry, turn to page 44. You've got it. You're pulled through the doorway and into glaring white lights. Joni and Sid stumble out after you. You gaze up at the creature, and you start laughing when you realize that the face that scared you was only a gorilla mask. The man takes off his mask and winks at you. He's short and bald. Had you going there for a minute, didn't I? Oh, nope, shit, sorry, he says. He sounds like your cousin from Texas. Well, fuck. We're not going to be able to tell the difference between him and Sid at all. Okay. Had you going there for a minute, didn't I, partner? He says. He sounds like your cousin from Texas. The man drops the gorilla mask on the floor and picks up a giant cowboy hat. That's when you notice he's dressed head to toe in a cowboy outfit. Jeans, cowboy boots, spurs. He helps Joni to her feet, then shakes Sid's hand. You're just in time, partner, he tells Sid. In time for what? Sid asks. In time for some real fun, the cowboy answers. You glance around. You're on a stage that has been decorated to look like a western ranch. Western land. Bales of hay are stacked around a fake barn door. A large wooden wheel painted red, white, and blue stands in the center of the stage. What kind of place is this, you wonder? Then you feel something cold and hard pressed into your back. A knife. You peer over your shoulder at the cowboy. Stand aside, kid, the cowboy says, flashing the knife blade at you. You're in my light. You don't need to be told twice. Sorry, you mumble. You take a few steps back. The cowboy strides toward center stage and positions himself in front of the wheel. He tosses the knife into the air and catches it behind his back. Then he tosses it up and catches it with his eyes shut. Joni applauds. My, what a cute little girl, the cowboy says to Joni. Would you like to see another trick? Sure, Joni says. Sid nods. You don't think you'd ever want to see I'm so sorry. I'm like, I can't read. I can't speak. What can I do these days? You don't think you ever want to see another trick in your life. Take your seats, the cowboy commands, waving Sid and Joni toward folding chairs at the side of the stage. Then he turns to you. You have a terrible feeling that you've been chosen to be part of the cowboy's act. Right you are. The next thing you know, the cowboy's strapping you to the wooden wheel. You be real still, the cowboy instructs. No wiggling. Now what, you wonder? Find out on page 128. You watch the cowboy pick up 4 deadly-looking knives. Now you know you don't like this. Excuse me, you begin, but you're so frightened that you have trouble getting the words out. The cowboy doesn't hear you. He takes 3 knives in his left hand. The other knife he aims directly at your head. Thwang! The knife thuds into the wood next to your left ear. That was close. Thwang! A second knife cuts into the wood next to your right ear. That was even closer. Hey, wait a minute. Your voice comes out as a squeak. Thwang! The third knife thuds right above your head. And now, for the grand finale, the cowboy announces, I'll spin the wheel. He strides toward you. Let me off this thing, you shout. But the cowboy ignores your protests. He smiles at you, grasps the side of the wheel, and gives it a sharp yank. Round and round you turn. The cowboy takes aim with the last knife. No, you wail. You can't look. You shut your eyes. Hold your breath to page 35. You open your eyes and sneak another look at the cowboy. It's hard to see his face as you spin round and round. He seems to be concentrating very hard. Is this trick safe? Joni asks, her voice trembling. She sounds scared. It's kind of nice to know she's worried about you. I'll tell you a secret, young lady, the cowboy assures her. It's a trick knife, completely harmless. Cool, Sid says. He and Joni lean forward in their seats. Maybe the cowboy knows what he's doing, you think. You've seen this act in circuses before. You shut your eyes just before the cowboy throws the knife. Oops! Wrong knife! Are the last words you ever hear. The end. So, no matter what, we die if we're smart enough to know to look under where Joni stomped her little feet. What happens if we're not smart enough for that? It just says, get real. When has Joni ever said anything that was of any help to you? The end. That is funny, though. And that's it for that branch. It's kind of a thin one, actually, but fortunately for my voice, that's where we have to stop, because if I read the second branch of it, then we start getting into, like, copyright problems. So, we're going to stop there. But we can always revisit these. Like, these can go back in the polls, and, like, the branch that we don't do, we can, like, do in future reads. If we reach our January fund goal, that might be something to consider. This was a fun one, though. I really liked it. Definitely on the thinner side. And for sure more for Hot Mom Genie as well. Like, I think next one we will do a poll, and it'll be like, which of the ones do we want to revisit and go down that other branch that we didn't do the first time, right? I think that'll be a lot of fun. But I don't want to leave y'all just yet. It's only been 2 hours. So I am going to end stream here so that I can publish this part on YouTube, and then I'm going to immediately restart stream so that we can play a little bit of Balatro. Does that sound nice and soothing and good? We can keep working on getting our gold stakes. I think we're really doing a good job on the anaglyph deck, so let's do that. Don't go anywhere. I'm literally going to be back in 10 seconds.